everyone, it's Rita with Everything Homemade, and we are out in the garden, and I figured I would just do this really quick update as I'm just going to show you some plants and how well they're doing. It's about a week and a day since I posted the last update on the plant growth. Now there's so much stuff happening in the garden, it's almost so hard to keep up, but I'm going to quickly do this. You'll hear the lawnmower in the background. It's Friday, we are doing maintenance. We mow our lawns every Friday, and it's just busy, and we're out weeding. So welcome to everybody. If you have just joined us, welcome. Go back to the home page, Everything Homemade. You can click on the gardening folder and find out all the videos, as this is also, there are many videos before this on how we got to this point, so check that out. I'm also an author, so if you like clean action romance books, check out the links in the description box below. There's also my book at the end of the video that you can see the title and everything you need to order it. And so let's get started here. So today is June 26th. So my girls here are just weeding the radishes, and an update on the radishes. They're growing great, but we are attacked by those crazy maggots. And so they are eating our radishes, and so if you pull one up, this is what we're getting, and it's pretty devastating. So basically our entire crop of radishes is for the animals to eat instead of us. So that's pretty disappointing, but comes to no surprise. These radishes on this side is a different type. They haven't developed their bulb at the bottom yet, so I have no idea if they're attacked or not. But so far we're losing our radishes. As for the lettuce, our romaine is growing by leaps and bounds since the last time I filmed. So we will have romaine in about 2 weeks. On the other hand, we have some really nice lettuce over here, and this is about a week away from harvesting. And so far, no slug damage. So the marigolds are doing their thing so far. The dill is still really tiny because the last time it only germinated a week ago. So it's just catching up. The cabbages in the test spot are doing good. They're finally really kicking off. You can see them right there. And my little cygnet marigolds, they're starting to bloom. So these marigolds will create a big ball with all these little yellow flowers. They're really gorgeous, and I'm going to make sure I keep some fresh seed again from them. So these guys are doing really good. On the back of their leaves, I don't see any eggs of any critter yet. So I'm so far so good. I've reached the end of June without any moth attack from those little white cabbage moths is what I'm talking about. So let's keep crossing our fingers. Now the tomatoes, look at them. You can actually see them now way better out of the ground, and they have taken off completely. So I'm going to give you some good examples. Okay, so take a look at them. They're absolutely gorgeous. They even have blossoms now on them, so they are doing super good. Take a look at all of these blossoms right here. So, and we got some bigger ones here. I mean, you guys, a week and a day, it makes all the difference. When you're up north here and we get long daylight hours, I mean, it is still light by 11 o'clock at night. And so we only have about 4 hours of dark. If you consider it dark, it's more of a dusk. And then by 4:30 in the morning, we are lightening up. So yes, we do have a short growing season, but we have very long days. Now that'll continue all in July, and then in August our days start shortening once again. So they are growing fantastic. Look at the size of their stems really nice and strong. So I am either going to tomato cage them or do something else. I haven't decided, but I need to talk to my husband, who is my infrastructure guy, because a lot of my tomato cages are 10 years old and they're really falling apart, and most of my tomatoes are so heavily laden with tomatoes that they push over all the tomato cages. So I may pick his brain here and see what kind of infrastructure we're going to put up, whether we use them for one more year or what. So I'm still on the fence there at the moment. The beans, take a look. They are having their true leaves coming. They're really taking off now, and what did survive the attack from the bean maggot fly, with all those little maggots in the ground, they're coming up strong and healthy, and there's enough here for a good harvest. Oh wow, you guys, these pumpkins, remember there's 5 plants in each section, so we have 30 plants of pumpkin altogether. And if you take a look, they're starting to vine. So there's a really good example here on how this rack system works. So if you take a look at that, they go right through the rack, and they will just keep going and going until they fill up the racks. Some will grow underneath and then connect up on top, but now they're starting to vine. They also got flower buds, okay, coming. So this one here has some really good example of flower buds coming, and you can see that those little pumpkins there, they're going to open up, so hopefully we get male and female flowers flowering at the same time. The other thing is, like this branch here is starting to vine, so I'll kind of just help it, lean it towards the racks, because the goal is for the pumpkins to sit on all the racks off the ground, and basically having a rack system to hold the pumpkins and for the plants to vine. So this is a really good start. This is really positive. And I'll just kind of keep on moving these towards any ones that don't, like if I can't get these ones going the way I want them, I just trim them. I just keep this row tidy. They can handle the trimming. It's not a big deal. You're not going to kill your plants. So this is a really, really good year for growing. They got awesome colors, and you can see why now I grow in hills. They're healthy, they're strong, they're not being choked out, and they're doing fantastic. So that's the pumpkins. Let's move over here. These are the peas. So I'm gonna do what a little maintenance here. I'm gonna train the peas and do a rope and push them, because they're growing the wrong direction. So I'm just gonna push them onto the fence there, just with some kind of rope here. I'll figure that out today. But they're doing really, really good. Really nice and healthy peas. The corn is growing like mad, and you can see it's starting to shoot out onto its sides. So the corn is really doing great. Really thick stalks, which is good. It can handle the wind, so that's no problem there. The red beets, and you can see the red beets a lot better. They are doing fantastic. Again, so they're looking really good. We've been weeding. We try to get in the garden once a week to do an official weed, and we're doing really good keeping up with the weeds. So again, the red beets are doing awesome. The carrots here, you can see the 2 lines of carrots in each row. Now I really pray that the carrot fly has not laid eggs in my carrots. That would be devastating, as we really depend on our carrots heavily. So let's just pray that I don't have damage with carrot fly at all. So they're doing fantastic here. We're not to the point where I want to thin them quite yet, maybe in a few weeks. So this was the other row of beans, which is looking good. And this is my son. This is store-bought celery, And as we're eating, he's been leaving the ends and he's been burying. So this was only in the ground for like 4 days now. And then he stuck that one in the ground yesterday. And then these ones, and they're already starting to green up. So he's doing a test because he heard that you can plant in the celery from the store. So far so good. So wherever the maggots ate the beans and there's dead spots in the garden, he's planting these little celeries all over the place. So I told him no problem. I mean, what am I gonna do with all this here? You might as well plant in something. So that's kind of cool. Heading to the cabbage here. This is the broccoli. Like, holy smokes, it's growing fantastic under these. You can see the difference in size. I mean, wow, that's all I can say. These are the cabbages. They're exploding in here. This is the kale, and remember we harvested the kale. I just posted that on there. So we really cleaned that up and we're waiting for it to rebound. But back to, I think this was cauliflower here. It's looking really good, really good. So again, underneath the tunnels are definitely a couple weeks ahead from the other test spot. Okay, so let's move over here. These are the butternut squash, and you can say, wow, look at the difference. I mean, that's my hand. That's how much they grew in that week. Unbelievable. You know, we had I didn't even think it would get any. Then they germinated, they were late already, and now it does not take long. So when you're gardening up north, when you think your tomatoes or whatever too small, wait a week. Once they kick off, they make up time. Beautiful. And the same thing, we're doing the rack system once again. So they're doing fantastic. Okay, we are heading to the zucchini. Like, oh, Grace, put your hand on that leaf. Wow. I mean, Ocean did that and the leaves are much bigger now. We even have blossoms. So bees, go, go, go. Okay, so we got tons of zucchini. They're growing like insanity and they're doing fantastic. And I really like this black fabric. Now you can kind of see why I put the black plastic down, because look at the ground. That's how the ground would be if I didn't put this down. Plus the black plastic is keeping the roots warmer, and that's what these guys love, warmth. So zucchini is doing awesome. And then we have the cucumbers, and they have really picked up. I've taken the plastic right off the tunnel because we've had a really, really warm week, and they are starting to you can see the little flower heads coming. So we're about a week away from, I think, from flower heads, but they're really picking up. They're really, you know, taking off. They're a little bit slower than the other ones. Like when I say other ones, like pumpkin and zucchini, but now they've really jumped. So just give it another week and these cucumbers will be right on board, which I don't mind them taking a little bit of time because my dill is a little bit behind. So if my cucumber's a little bit behind, that's okay for canning because I can most of my cucumbers. Now, I'm not too sure why this little guy on the end here is so much shorter. It's like it's been stunted. I mean, if you take a look at this guy over to his partner over there and down the line, they're much taller. So I'm not too sure why this guy's like this, whether the pH is off a little bit in the dirt, or maybe, I have no idea, because we put the same manure into all the holes. But I mean, it's shorter, but it has been picking up. So I'm hoping that the roots maybe can go deep enough that it will skip whatever it's bothering it. It's greening up more, so something's in the dirt there to make it do that. Plus I notice right off the side, you see the radishes? You have a small little radishes and then they pick up. and that is just beside the cucumbers here. So I'm thinking we've got a spot here maybe where the soil isn't the greatest. But go little cucumbers go, you can do it. And then the last thing we have here is the marigold bed, and they have really kicked off too, and you can see that all of mine are starting to have their blossoms coming. So give it a week and there will be full blossoms, and they're just going to get bigger. I mean, they grew substantially over the last week here. I mean, they're huge. The only one that's suffering is this little baby guy here that might not make it, but the rest are doing fantastic. So I can't wait for this bed to really fill out and to really start blooming, which will attract the bees to the pumpkins, to the cucumbers, to the garden, period. So overall, I mean, we're suffering some losses with the radishes, but if anything, I'd rather suffer losses with the radishes than with the beans, with the tomatoes, with the cabbage. So okay, we're gonna lose probably all of our radishes, but other parts of the garden doing fantastic. I thank God that the beans that we do have are growing strong. There's no further damage on them. They're really picking up, so that is really good, because there's nothing, our family love canned beans. Like, they're crunchy, they're delicious. There's just nothing like canned beans. That's just my personal opinion. The tomatoes are essential to us, the zucchini is, and the carrots. I just really pray that the carrots don't have the carrot fly maggot. I don't want this to be the year of that crazy fly taking over the garden. So basically I'm at the mercy of the waiting game right now, and see what happens. I've had carrot fly maggot before. A lot of times they don't attack every single carrot. We maybe have to pull them out sooner if they start attacking, but I just hope we don't lose that particular crop. As for slug damage, I don't see any so far. Be really meticulous at keeping the garden clean. When, like the radishes, as we pull them out, don't just leave the radishes on the ground to die. Get rid of them. In our case, we can feed them to the goats. We can feed them to the chickens, the pigs. Don't leave them in the garden, because all you are is attracting the pests. So really keep your garden clean. Otherwise, everything's looking good. I'm really happy with the weather this year. The weather is actually working in favor. We're supposed to have 2 days of rain now. That's why I'm quickly doing this film, because I probably won't get in the garden this weekend, as they are calling between 10 to 15 millimeters of rain on Saturday, and another 5 to 10 millimeters on Sunday. So everything will get a really good drink. So the last thing we need to do an update on is the peppers, and they're doing fantastic. You can see that the soil's a bit dry, but if you put your finger further down, it's quite moist. That's why I'm not watering it. I do have the plastic off right now, but they have really picked up. I mean, they're looking good. And you can even see a little flower bud. So they're quite happy where they are. So, and I'm quite happy that none of my cats are wrecking them. And while we're here, I know this isn't the garden, but come on, this is just gorgeous. Take a look. Okay, I am so excited because these are blackberry blossoms. Absolutely beautiful. I am just taken away by their absolute gorgeous simplicity. They're just beautiful, and I am just thrilled to grow blackberries in the north. I mean, come on, that's just, if you're a northern grower, you know how excited you can get over growing something that you shouldn't be able to grow here. And this is pretty exciting because we're gonna have blackberries this year. Go little guy, you pollinate those flowers. You're doing a fantastic job at it. So that's the garden update for this week. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.